You are not crazy. You are not too needy. You are not emotionally unavailable. That panic when they don't reply. That urge to disappear when they get too close. That's your attachment style running the show, wired into your brain before you were 2 years old. Science says there are only 3 types. Secure love feels easy. Anxious love feels like fear. Avoidant love feels like a trap. And guess what? Your type isn't permanent. Thousands of people exactly like you have already changed it and built love that finally feels safe plus passionate. In this book you'll discover your exact style in 5 minutes. Why you keep choosing the wrong person. The 5 habits secure couples use every day. Word-for-word texts to fix any fight. When to stay and when to leave forever. No more toxic cycles. No more years wasted. Just real love that doesn't hurt. Grab the book now and change everything. And if you're watching this, hit subscribe plus bell right now. Every week I break down real texts and fights using this science so you never suffer again. Subscribe. Save your heart. See you inside the book. Chapter 1, New Relationships, New Science. Imagine it's Friday night. You're in bed, phone glowing in the dark. You had an amazing time tonight, can't wait to see you again, 4 hours ago. It still says delivered. Your heart is pounding. Your mind is spinning, did I say something wrong? Are they with someone else? Should I send another text or just disappear? You check if they're active on WhatsApp, Instagram, anywhere. By 2 a.m. you're wide awake, stomach in knots, convinced the connection was one-sided. Now picture the exact same situation, but you feel completely calm. You see the message is unread, you smile, put the phone face down, and fall asleep peacefully. You don't take it personally. You trust that everything is fine. Same silence, totally different inner world. What decides whether you suffer or sleep? It's not confidence, looks, or how good you are at dating. It's your attachment style, an invisible emotional blueprint formed in your earliest years that has been steering every romantic relationship you've ever had. For decades we called it baggage, being needy, or bad luck. Today science calls it adult attachment, and once you understand it, everything in your love life finally makes sense. In the 1950s, British psychiatrist John Bowlby shocked the world by saying babies don't just need milk, they need emotional closeness to survive. When a child is scared or alone, nature triggers intense emotions, crying, reaching, clinging, to pull the caregiver close. Bowlby named this the attachment system, a biological survival mechanism hardwired into every human brain. In the wild, a baby that wanders too far gets eaten. In humans, a baby that loses emotional connection experiences terror that can permanently alter brain chemistry. The caregiver's job is to respond with comfort and protection, creating the first love story every human ever experiences. That first love story becomes the template for all future love stories. In the 1970s, Mary Ainsworth took this into the lab with the famous strange situation experiment. A baby plays with mom in a room. Mom leaves for 3 minutes. Mom returns. Ainsworth discovered 3 distinct patterns. Most babies, about 60%, cried when mom left but calmed quickly when she returned and reached for her. They trusted she would come back, secure attachment. Some babies panicked intensely and, when mom returned, alternated between clinging and angry pushing away. They didn't fully trust her availability, anxious attachment. A third group barely reacted when mom left and avoided her when she returned. They had learned that showing need doesn't work, avoidant attachment. For years everyone assumed attachment only mattered in childhood. Then in 1987, researchers Cindy Hazan and Philip Shaver asked adults the same questions about romantic partners. The results were mind-blowing. The exact same 3 patterns appeared in almost identical percentages: 50-55% secure, comfortable with intimacy and independence. 20 to 25% anxious, craving closeness, fearing abandonment. 20 to 25% avoidant, uncomfortable with closeness, prioritizing independence. In other words, the way you learn to love at age 1 is very likely how you love at age 31. Your attachment style predicts with frightening accuracy how often you fight, what you fight about, how you make up or don't, whether you stay or leave, and whether you feel fulfilled or miserable. The anxious person cries in the bathroom because their partner didn't say, "I love you," back. The avoidant person feels suffocated the moment someone wants to define the relationship. The secure couple can argue once a year and still hold hands at 80. Best news of all, attachment styles are not a life sentence. With the right knowledge and the right partner, anxious people can become secure, avoidant people can become secure, and even the most painful patterns can heal. This book hands you the decoder ring to every confusing moment you've ever had in love. You will discover your own style, and your partner's, in minutes, understand why you keep choosing people who hurt you, learn the 5 principles secure people naturally use, get exact scripts to calm anxiety or reach an avoidant heart, and know precisely when to stay and when to walk away forever. If you're tired of the same story with different faces, if you're ready to stop blaming yourself or them, if you want love that finally feels safe and passionate at the same time, turn the page. Your attachment system is about to get the upgrade it has been waiting for its entire life. Welcome to the new science of adult attachment. Your love life is about to make sense, and get infinitely better. Chapter 2, Deciphering Attachment Styles. You don't need a PhD to figure out your attachment style. You just need honesty and about how you feel and act in close relationships. Over the next few minutes you're going to discover, with almost scary accuracy, which of the 3 main attachment styles has been running your love life, secure, anxious, or avoidant. There's also a rare 4th style we'll touch on later. Ready? Let's start with the simplest, most reliable test researchers use. Read the following 3 paragraphs. Which one feels most like you in romantic relationships, not how you wish you were, but how you actually are most of the time? Paragraph A. I find it relatively easy to get close to others and am comfortable depending on them and having them depend on me. I don't often worry about being abandoned or about someone getting too close to me. I'm comfortable with intimacy and closeness. When there's conflict, I can talk about my feelings without getting overwhelmed or shutting down. I feel loved most of the time. Paragraph B. I often worry that my partner doesn't really love me or will leave me. I want to merge completely with another person, and this desire sometimes scares people away. I crave a lot of closeness and reassurance. When my partner pulls away even slightly, I feel anxious and tend to pursue them, texting more, call more, try to fix things immediately. I sometimes get called needy or clingy. Paragraph C. I am uncomfortable getting too close or emotionally intimate. I prefer not to depend on others or have them depend too heavily on me. I value my independence and self-sufficiency a lot. I often feel like relationships take away my freedom. When things get very close, I tend to pull back or create distance. I sometimes get called distant, emotionally unavailable, or commitment phobic. If you chose A, you're most likely secure, 50 to 55% of people. If you chose B, you're most likely anxious, around 20 to 25%. If you chose C, you're most likely avoidant, around 20 to 25%. If you felt torn between B and C, you crave closeness but are terrified of it, you might be the rare 4th style, fearful-avoidant, sometimes called disorganized. That little test is the exact one Hazan and Shaver used in 1987, and it still predicts real-life behavior with over 85% accuracy. But let's go deeper. Here are the clearest, everyday signs of each style. Secure people. Feel comfortable with intimacy and independence at the same time. Trust that their partner loves them and will be there. Communicate needs and feelings directly. I'm upset because. Don't play games, they say what they mean. Handle conflict calmly, they can stay emotionally connected even while disagreeing. Believe relationships should add to life, not consume it. Are warm, supportive, and reliable partners. When single, they still feel generally okay about themselves and dating. Anxious people have a deep fear of abandonment, even if they hide it well. Need frequent reassurance that they are loved and the relationship is okay. Are highly attuned to their partner's moods and tiny changes in behavior. Often feel not good enough inside, even when everything looks perfect outside. Tend to overthink texts, silences, tone of voice, facial expressions. Can become preoccupied with the relationship, where is this going? Sometimes protest when they feel distance, double texting, picking fights, testing the partner. Feel intense relief when closeness is restored. Avoidant people strongly value independence and self-reliance. Feel uncomfortable with closeness comes obligation and loss of freedom. Often deactivate emotions when things get intense. I'm fine, it's not a big deal. Pull away when their partner wants more closeness. Keep partners at arm's length emotionally, even after years together. Dislike talking about feelings in depth. May use silent treatment or emotional distancing as a defense. Feel trapped when someone needs them too much. Real-life example. Same situation, partner says, I need some space tonight, I'm exhausted. Secure, of course, take the time you need. I'll be here when you're ready. Anxious, space. Did I do something wrong? Are you mad at me? Please talk to me. Avoidant, great, I needed space too. And feels relieved. Another example, after a wonderful weekend together, Monday comes. Secure texts, still smiling about our weekend red heart. Anxious texts, hey, everything okay? You've been quiet today, pensive face. Avoidant doesn't text first and thinks, why do they need constant contact? These aren't stereotypes, they're biological strategies that once helped us survive childhood and now play out automatically in adulthood. The good news? You can be predominantly one style and still have traits of another. Attachment exists on a spectrum, not in rigid boxes. Many people are anxious-leaning or avoidant-leaning rather than extreme. Even better news, your style is not carved in stone. Hundreds of studies show that with self-awareness, therapy, or a secure partner, anxious and avoidant people can move towards secure functioning, sometimes dramatically. In the next chapter we'll dive deep into how each style experiences love day to day, but right now, just knowing your style is already power. Because once you can name it, you stop blaming yourself for being crazy, or your partner for being cold. You finally see the invisible script that's been running the show. So tell the truth, which paragraph felt most like home? Secure? Anxious? Avoidant? Hold that answer in your mind. Because in the chapters ahead, everything, every fight, every heartbreak, every magical moment, will suddenly make perfect sense. And more importantly, you'll finally know exactly what to do about it. Chapter 3, The Secure, the Anxious, and the Avoidant. You now know the names. Now it's time to meet them in real life. Imagine 3 friends sitting at the same cafe table after a group date night. The same evening just happened to all 3, but each experienced it in a completely different emotional universe. Sarah, secure. She had a great time with her boyfriend of 8 months. They laughed, held hands under the table, and when he said, I'll call you tomorrow, she believed him. On the way home she felt warm and content. She sent one simple text, "Love tonight red heart," and fell asleep happy. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Aisha, anxious. She was on a 3rd date with a guy she really likes. Everything seemed perfect until the end of the night when he said, "This was fun, talk soon." Talk soon? What does that even mean? She replayed every conversation in her head, analyzing his tone, eye contact, the half-second pause before he kissed her goodnight. By midnight she was crying in bed, convinced he's losing interest. She sent 3 follow-up texts trying to sound casual. Still no reply. Her chest physically hurts. Arjun, avoidant. He went out with a woman he's been seeing casually for 6 weeks. Dinner was nice, conversation flowed, she looked beautiful. But when she reached for his hand across the table and said, "I'm really starting to fall for you," something inside him froze. Suddenly the room felt small. He smiled politely, paid the bill early, and later texted, "Got super busy with work, we'll be in touch." He already knows he's not going to call. He doesn't understand why closeness always makes him want to run. Same restaurant. Same night. 3 completely different realities. This is what attachment styles look like when they're alive and breathing. Let's walk through each one in detail so you can recognize them instantly, in yourself and in everyone you date. The secure person. Secures are the emotional grown-ups in the room, not because they're perfect, but because their attachment system works the way nature intended. They believe, deep in their bones, that they are worthy of love and that others can be trusted. Intimacy feels good, not threatening. Independence feels good, not isolating. When conflict happens, they stay emotionally connected. "I'm upset, but I still love you and want to fix this together." They ask for what they need directly, "I need a hug," or "Can we talk about what happened earlier," instead of hoping the partner guesses. They give their partner the benefit of the doubt instead of assuming the worst. Breakups hurt them, but they don't lose their sense of self-worth. Result: secure people create relationships that feel like a safe harbor and an exciting adventure at the same time. The anxious person. Anxious people have a hypersensitive abandonment alarm. From childhood, closeness was unpredictable. Sometimes they got comfort, sometimes they didn't, so their nervous system learned to stay on high alert. In adulthood, that alarm goes off at the tiniest sign of distance: a late text, a cancelled plan, a neutral facial expression. Common anxious thoughts. They're pulling away. I'm too much. If I don't do something right now, they'll leave. They cope by protest behavior, texting more, seeking reassurance, sometimes picking fights to force a reaction. The tragedy is that these protests often push the partner farther away, confirming the original fear. Yet when an anxious person feels truly safe and loved, they are incredibly warm, generous, intuitive, and deeply caring partners. The avoidant person. Avoidants learned early that depending on others is dangerous. Emotions weren't soothed, they were ignored or punished. So they built strong walls and told themselves, "I don't need anyone." In adulthood, closeness equals loss of freedom, being engulfed, or having to feel painful emotions they buried long ago. So they deactivate. Keep emotional distance even in long relationships. Focus heavily on work, hobbies, friends, anything but intimacy. Use phrases like, "I'm not ready, it's moving too fast, I need space." Feel genuine relief when alone. Often attract anxious partners, more on that disaster later. Deep down, most avoidants do want connection, they just don't believe it's possible without losing themselves. The fearful-avoidant, rare, 5%. This is the most painful style. They desperately want closeness, like anxious, but are terrified of it, like avoidant, because past caregivers were frightening or abusive. They swing between, "come here," and "go away." They fall hard and fast, then panic and sabotage. Relationships feel like an emotional roller coaster, for everyone involved. Quick recognition cheat sheet you can use on any date. Secure talks about exes without bitterness, maintains warm contact with family/friends, comfortable with affection and future talk. Anxious, very attentive early on, asks lots of, "Where is this going?" questions, gets visibly distressed by uncertainty. Avoidant, hot and cold behavior, emphasizes independence, changes subject when feelings come up, keeps exes at total distance. Here's the part that will save you years of pain. Secures naturally pair well with everyone, they calm anxious partners and gently draw avoidants closer. But anxious plus avoidant is the most common toxic combination, and the one that feels like insane chemistry in the beginning. Why? Because the anxious person's pursuit temporarily relieves their fear, and the avoidant's initial distance feels familiar and exciting to the anxious nervous system. Fireworks. Passion. Drama. Then the cycle begins. Anxious pushes for more closeness, avoidant pulls away, anxious panics and pushes harder, avoidant shuts down completely. Heartbreak guaranteed. The only combination that almost always works long-term. Secure plus secure, or secure plus anxious/avoidant, because secure energy is healing. You cannot change someone else's attachment style, but you can stop choosing people whose style guarantees misery. And you can move toward secure yourself, every single day. Starting right now, just knowing these patterns gives you superpowers. You'll spot red flags on the first date instead of after 2 years. You'll stop taking distance personally. You'll stop chasing people who run. And you'll finally understand that the peace you've been craving isn't luck, it's a learnable skill. 3 styles. 3 different worlds. 1 choice. Which world do you want to live in? Chapter 4, Living with a Sixth Sense, The Anxious Perspective. You wake up and the first thing you do is check your phone. No new message. Your stomach drops even though you know it's only been 7 hours since the last goodnight text. Within 30 seconds your mind has written 3 possible horror movies about why they haven't written yet. You tell yourself to calm down, but your body is already in fight or flight. Welcome to a normal morning when you have an anxious attachment style. Most people think anxious attachment is just being clingy. It isn't. It is living with an emotional radar that never turns off. A sixth sense that constantly scans for danger in the form of distance, silence, or anything that could mean rejection. That radar saved children who had unreliable caregivers. In adulthood it feels like a curse. Here is what a typical day inside an anxious mind. Morning. You wake up happy because last night was perfect. Then you see the last message was from you. Suddenly the happiness evaporates. You reread yesterday's chat 10 times looking for hidden meaning. You notice they used fewer emojis than usual. You start overthinking. Work. You try to focus, but every notification makes your heart jump. When it isn't them you feel a wave of disappointment so strong it's almost physical. You draft 5 different texts and delete them all because they sound too needy. Finally you send something light and casual and then stare at the screen waiting for the 3 dots. Lunch break. They finally reply with a short answer. Relief floods your body like a drug. But the relief only lasts a few minutes. Now you start analyzing the shortness of the reply. You wonder if they're mad. You wonder if you should ask or if asking will push them away. Evening. They call and everything feels perfect again. You laugh, you flirt, you feel safe. But the moment the call ends the radar switches back on. You replay every word looking for cracks. You fall asleep exhausted from the emotional roller coaster. This is not drama for drama's sake. It is biology. When closeness feels uncertain your brain releases stress hormones the same way it would if you were in actual danger. Your heart rate rises, your chest tightens, your thoughts race. All because the person you love went quiet for a few hours. Anxious people are not weak. They are hypervigilant survivors who learn too early that love can disappear without warning. Their nervous system never got the memo that they are now adults dating other adults who usually aren't going anywhere. Common anxious beliefs, usually unconscious. If they really loved me they would text first. If I don't keep the connection alive they will forget about me. Silence equals rejection. I have to be perfect or they will leave. Asking for reassurance makes me pathetic. These beliefs create a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more anxious you feel the more you reach out. The more you reach out the more some partners pull away. The more they pull away the more proof you have that you are unlovable. Round and round. But here is the truth nobody told you. Your sensitivity is a gift wrapped in pain. Anxious people are often the most empathetic, passionate, and devoted partners on earth. When they feel safe they love with their whole soul. They notice everything. They remember tiny details. They give warmth and affection freely. They fight for the relationship instead of giving up. The problem isn't the sensitivity. The problem is when that sensitivity is paired with someone who cannot or will not provide consistent reassurance. The healing path for anxious attachment is simple in theory and hard in practice. Find safety. Real safety. Not the fake safety of constant texting, but the deep safety of knowing your needs will not be punished or ignored. Signs you are dating someone who can give you that safety. They reply in a reasonable time without you having to chase. They say, "I'm here," when you are upset instead of getting defensive. They initiate contact as much as you do. They make future plans and keep them. They can talk about feelings without shutting down or running. When an anxious person finally experiences this kind of steady love, something magical happens. The radar starts to quiet down. The body learns that silence does not equal abandonment. The heart learns that needing someone does not make them leave. Over time, the anxious system calms and moves towards secure functioning. Until then, here are practical tools that work right now. Name the feeling out loud to yourself. I'm having an anxiety wave. This is old wiring, not current danger. Set a timer for 30 minutes before sending any text when you feel activated. Most waves pass on their own. Keep a screenshot folder of loving messages for bad days. Write down evidence that they care instead of only noticing evidence they might not. Ask directly for what you need once instead of hinting 10 times. I'm feeling a little insecure today, can you send me a quick text when you're free? It would mean a lot. Most importantly, remember this. Your need for closeness is not a flaw. It is human. The right person will never make you feel ashamed for having it. You do not need to become less sensitive. You need to be with someone who is strong enough to hold your sensitivity without making it smaller. That person exists. And when you find them, your sixth sense will finally relax and become the superpower it was always meant to be. Chapter 5, Being Cool, the Avoidant Perspective. You are not heartless. You are not a robot. You are not afraid of love. You are afraid of losing yourself inside it. That is the quiet truth most avoidant people never say out loud. From the outside, avoidants look calm, independent, unbothered. They are the ones who can go days without texting and genuinely not mind. They are the ones who say, "I'm fine," and actually mean it. They are the ones who walk away from drama instead of creating it. From the inside, it feels completely different. It feels like living behind a glass wall. You can see emotions. You can feel them pressing against the glass. But letting them out means risking being swallowed whole. Here is what a typical day looks like when your attachment style is avoidant. Morning. You wake up alone and feel instant relief. The bed is yours. The silence is yours. Your nervous system drops 10 levels the moment there is no one to take care of or explain yourself to. Work. You are focused, productive, admired. People call you calm under pressure. What they don't see is that pressure from people feels worse than any deadline. When someone at the office gets too friendly, you instinctively create distance. Evening. You finally reply to the person you have been seeing. They sent 6 messages while you sent 1. You feel a small wave of irritation. Why do they need so much? You write a short polite reply and put the phone on Do Not Disturb. Freedom tastes better than connection tonight. Night. You lie in bed and feel a faint ache you quickly push away. You tell yourself you don't want a relationship right now. You tell yourself you are happier alone. Both statements are half true. Avoidant people did not choose distance. Distance chose them. Early in life, closeness was dangerous. Needs were ignored, mocked, or turned into burdens. The child learned only one safe strategy: turn the volume down on emotions and turn the volume up on self-reliance. In adulthood, that strategy becomes a fortress. The fortress keeps pain out. But it also keeps love out. Common avoidant beliefs, usually unconscious. If I let someone in, they will control me. Needing people is weak. Emotions make everything messy. I am only lovable when I am perfect and independent. Relationships always end in disappointment, so better not to get too attached. These beliefs create their own reality. The more distance you create, the more proof you have that closeness is suffocating. The more you pull away, the more others chase or leave. Either way you stay right. But here is what nobody tells avoidance. Your need for space is not the problem. Your terror of dependence is not the problem. The problem is when space becomes a prison that keeps you from the one thing you secretly want most, real connection. Deep under the cool exterior, most avoidants actually feel a lot. They just feel it later, alone, when no one can use it against them. They fall in love slowly and intensely. They remember every detail. They care deeply. They just don't know how to show it without feeling trapped. The healing path for avoidance is the opposite of what they expect. It is not about becoming more emotional. It is about discovering that closeness can happen without losing yourself. Signs you are dating someone who can give you that safety. They respect your need for alone time without taking it personally. They do not punish you for having boundaries. They stay steady when you pull back instead of chasing harder. They let you come closer at your own pace. They show love through actions more than demands. When an avoidant person experiences this kind of patient, steady love, something astonishing happens. The glass wall starts to thin. The body learns that needing someone does not mean being controlled. The heart learns that emotions can be shared without disaster. Over time, the avoidant system calms and moves towards secure functioning. Until then, here are tools that work right now. Notice when you feel the urge to run and pause for 10 seconds. Ask yourself, am I protecting myself or punishing the other person? Send one extra text before you disappear completely. Say, I need a little space, I'll reach out tomorrow, instead of going silent. Name your feelings, even if it's only to yourself in a note app. Practice staying in the room 5 minutes longer than you want to. Most importantly, remember this. Your need for independence is not a flaw. It is strength. The right person will never ask you to choose between freedom and love. They will give you both. You do not need to become someone who texts all day. You need to be with someone who does not make independence feel like rejection. That person exists. And when you find them, your cool exterior will finally soften into the warmth you have been guarding your whole life. Chapter 6: The Secret of Secure Love. Secure people are not superhumans. They are not naturally better at love. They simply grew up believing two things most of us never got to believe. I am worthy of love exactly as I am. Other people can be trusted to show up when I need them. That's it. Those two quiet beliefs change everything. Secure people do not play games. They do not chase. They do not disappear. They do not test. They do not punish with silence. They just love, straight and steady, like breathing. Here is what a typical day looks like inside a secure heart. Morning. They wake up, see no message yet, and feel zero panic. They assume the best instead of the worst. They send a simple, good morning, hope your day starts great, and go make coffee. No hidden agenda. No scorekeeping. Work. They are focused and calm and productive. When their partner texts running late tonight, love you, they reply, no worries, see you when you're home, and actually mean it. They do not spiral into, are they avoiding me? Evening. They come home, hug, ask about each other's day, and really listen. If something upset them, they say it directly and kindly. Hey, when you canceled our plan last minute, I felt a bit hurt. Can we talk about it? No blame. No drama. Just truth. Night. They fall asleep easily, whether cuddled up or on their own side of the bed. They know tomorrow their partner will still be there, not because they demanded proof, but because the relationship has proven it 1,000 small times. This is not boring. This is peace with passion still alive. Secure people are not emotionless. They feel everything deeply. They just don't let fear run away, fear drive the car. Here are the 5 core habits that create secure love, habits you can start today even if you are anxious or avoidant. Assume positive intent. When your partner is quiet, late, or distracted, your first thought is, they're probably tired/stressed/busy, instead of, they don't care about me anymore. This one habit alone prevents 90% of unnecessary fights. Speak needs directly, not through hints or protests. Secure people say, "I missed you today, can we have some time tonight?" Instead of sulking, picking a fight, or sending 15 unanswered texts. Direct equals kind plus clear plus fast. Repair quickly. When something hurts, they bring it up within hours, not days or weeks. They use soft startups, "I felt sad when," instead of, "you always." They listen without getting defensive. They apologize when wrong and forgive when apologized to. Keep your own life full. Secure people have friends, hobbies, goals, and self-care. They do not make their partner the only source of happiness. This prevents both clinging and emotional distancing. Celebrate closeness instead of fearing it. They say, "I love you," first sometimes. They plan future trips. They reach for their partner's hand in public. They let themselves need and be needed without shame. Real-life example of secure magic. Partner A, secure, comes home stressed from work. Partner B, anxious leaning, immediately asks, "Are you mad at me?" Secure partner A replies calmly, "Not at you babe, rough day at office. I could use a hug though." Anxious partner B feels the fear melt instantly. The same moment that would have started a 3-day fight in an anxious avoidant couple becomes a moment of deeper connection. Another example. Partner A, secure, needs alone time after a party. Partner B, avoidant leaning, starts to shut down. Secure partner A says, "I'm a bit overstimulated, going to read in the other room for an hour. I love you, I'll come find you when I recharge." Avoidant partner B feels respected instead of pressured. Again, safety is created in seconds. Secure people are living proof that love does not have to hurt. It does not have to be a roller coaster. It does not have to swing between intoxicating highs and devastating lows. Secure love feels like coming home to someone who is happy you walked through the door, every single day. And the most beautiful part? Security is contagious. When an anxious person dates a secure partner long enough, their abandonment alarm starts to quiet. When an avoidant person dates a secure partner long enough, their glass wall starts to crack. Study after study shows that the single biggest predictor of becoming more secure is having at least one long-term relationship with a secure person. You do not have to stay anxious forever. You do not have to stay avoidant forever. You just have to stop settling for partners who confirm your worst fears and start choosing partners who gently disprove them, every day. Secure love is not a fairy tale. It is a skill set. And every single one of those 5 habits can be learned, practiced, and mastered. Start with 1. Assume positive intent today. Speak one need directly this week. Repair one small hurt before bedtime. Little by little, your nervous system will rewire. Your heart will remember what it feels like to trust. And one day you will wake up and realize the war inside you has ended. That day you will not just have secure love. You will be secure love. And you will never accept anything less again. Chapter 7, The Anxious Avoidant Trap. This is the most common, most painful, and most addictive relationship pattern on earth. One person runs toward closeness. The other person runs away from it. Both feel like they are dying without the other. Both feel like they are dying with the other. And yet they cannot let go. We call it the anxious avoidant trap, and if you have ever been in it, you already know the movie by heart. Act 1, The Spark. They meet. Instant fireworks. The anxious person feels, finally someone who feels deep and intense like me. The avoidant person, finally someone who wants me so much, maybe I can relax a little. The chemistry is insane because the anxious pursuit temporarily calms the avoidant's fear of engulfment, and the avoidant's initial distance feels mysterious and powerful to the anxious person. They fall fast and hard. Act 2, the trigger. Things get closer. Future talk starts. Feelings are named. The anxious person leans in, more texts, more time, more "I love you." The avoidant person feels the walls closing in. Their nervous system screams, too much, too close, too fast. They start pulling back, shorter replies, cancelled plans, "I need space." Act 3, the chase. The anxious person feels the distance like a knife. Their abandonment alarm goes to red alert. They double text, call, ask, what's wrong, try to fix, cry, beg, sometimes threaten to leave just to get a reaction. Every move pushes the avoidant further away. The avoidant goes colder, silent, sometimes disappears for days. The anxious person panics harder. Round and round. Act 4, the explosion or the fade. Either they have a massive fight where the anxious person says, "You never care," and the avoidant says, "You're suffocating me." Or the avoidant slowly ghosts and the anxious person is left destroyed, replaying every moment, wondering what they did wrong. Act 5, the reunion. Weeks or months later one of them reaches out. "I miss you." The cycle restarts at Act 1 with even more intensity because now there is proof the other person can come back. Years can be lost in this loop. This is not bad luck. This is biology colliding. The anxious person's greatest fear is abandonment. The avoidant person's greatest fear is engulfment. Each unintentionally becomes the other person's worst nightmare. The anxious person's pursuit confirms the avoidant's belief that closeness equals loss of freedom. The avoidant's withdrawal confirms the anxious person's belief that they are unlovable. Both are operating from old survival strategies that no longer serve them. Real example you will recognize instantly. Aisha, anxious, and Arjun, avoidant, have been dating 4 months. Everything is perfect until Aisha says, "I can really see a future with you." That night Arjun feels panic. He cancels their weekend plans saying he has to work. Aisha feels the shift immediately. She sends 10 messages escalating from sweet to hurt to angry. Arjun reads them and feels trapped. He replies 2 days later with, "I think we want different things." Aisha spirals into full panic and begs him to talk. Arjun disappears completely. 3 weeks later he texts, "I miss you too," and they are back together within hours. 6 weeks later the exact same cycle repeats. Multiply that by years and you have the tragic story of millions of couples. Why is this trap so powerful? Intermittent reinforcement. The avoidant's occasional warmth feels like heroin to the anxious brain. The anxious person's occasional, pulling away, when they finally give up, feels like freedom to the avoidant brain. Both get just enough reward to stay hooked. Familiar pain. Anxious people grew up with inconsistent caregiving, so the push-pull feels like home. Avoidant people grew up with emotional distance, so the anxious pursuit feels familiar even when it hurts. False hope. Every reunion feels like proof that, this time will be different. How to break the trap, for both sides. If you are anxious, stop chasing. Every time you chase you teach the avoidant that distance works. Instead, state your need once, clearly and kindly, then give space. Example, "I feel scared when we don't talk for days. I need to know we're okay. Can we check in tomorrow?" Then actually stop texting. The silence will feel like death, but it is the only thing that can bring an avoidant closer. If you are avoidant, stop disappearing. Every time you vanish you teach the anxious person they have to chase harder next time. Instead, give a time frame. "I'm overwhelmed and need a few hours alone. I'll call you at 9 p.m. Then actually call at 9 p.m. Consistency is the medicine they need. For both. Date secure people instead. Seriously. The trap only exists when one person needs constant closeness and the other needs constant distance. Secure people give steady warmth without pressure. They end the dance before it starts. If you are already deep in the trap, the only way out is radical change. Either the avoidant learns to stay present when emotions rise, or the anxious learns to tolerate distance without panic. Or, most common, one of you finally walks away for good. Walking away hurts like hell in the moment, but it is the fastest path to real love later. Because the trap never becomes secure love. It only becomes exhaustion. You deserve better than a relationship that feels like addiction disguised as passion. You deserve someone who meets you in the middle without having to be chased or caged. That person will never be the one who runs when you reach or clings when you breathe. Let them go. Heal yourself. Then choose different. The trap only has power when you keep stepping into it. Chapter 8, Escaping the Trap. You are in the trap right now, or you just crawled out of it bleeding. Either way, this chapter is your escape map. The anxious avoidant cycle is not destiny. It only feels unbreakable because both of you are running the exact strategies that keep it spinning. Stop those strategies and the trap collapses in weeks, not years. Here is the exact step-by-step escape plan that has saved thousands of real couples and thousands more individuals who finally chose themselves. Step 1, name the dance out loud. Say the words to your partner, or to yourself if they are gone. We are stuck in an anxious avoidant loop. I chase when I feel distance, you disappear when you feel pressure, and both of us end up miserable. Naming it breaks the spell. Suddenly it is no longer, you are cold, or, you are crazy. It is a predictable pattern neither of you chose. Step 2, decide who is willing to change first. One person has to break character first. If you are anxious, you go first. If you are avoidant, you go first. Whoever has slightly more insight or slightly more courage steps up. The other will follow faster than you think once they see safety. Step 3, the anxious person's escape moves. Stop all protest behavior immediately. No more double texting, no more, we need to talk right now, no more ultimatums, no more checking their social media every hour. Instead use the 3 magic sentences. I'm feeling anxious right now and it's old wiring, not your fault. I need reassurance, but I'm going to sit with this feeling for an hour before asking. When the hour passes and you still need it, ask once, calmly, can we have a quick check-in? I'm spiraling a bit. Then accept whatever answer they give without argument. Every time you do this you teach your nervous system that distance is survivable and you teach them that closeness is safe. Step 4, the avoidant person's escape moves. Stop all disappearing acts. No more silent treatment, no more, I need space, without a return time, no more vague, I'm busy. Instead use the 3 magic sentences. I'm feeling overwhelmed and need a little space, I'll text you by 8 p.m. Then actually text by 8 p.m. even if it's only, still need a bit more time, love you, talk tomorrow morning. Once a day send one unsolicited warm message, thinking of you, hope your meeting went well, can't wait to see you Friday. Every time you do this you teach your nervous system that closeness does not equal suffocation and you teach them that distance has limits. Step 5, create a weekly 20-minute State of the Union. Once a week sit down with phones off and take turns saying, one thing that made me feel close this week. One thing that made me feel distant this week. One thing I need more of next week. No criticism, no defending, just listening. This single habit turns chaos into data and data into safety. Step 6, use the 48-hour rule. If either of you feels triggered, you have 48 hours to bring it up calmly. After 48 hours it is off the table forever. This prevents small hurts from becoming big resentments and forces both sides to practice emotional courage instead of avoidance or explosion. Step 7, get outside help early. One secure friend, one good therapist, one attachment-focused coach can shorten years of pain into months. You do not have to white-knuckle this alone. Real couple example, 6 months in the trap, 3 months using these steps. Aisha, anxious, stopped chasing, started naming her waves out loud. Arjun, avoidant, started giving time frames and sending one warm text daily. Week 1 was hell. Week 4 was shaky. Week 8 they were laughing about how dramatic they used to be. If only one of you is willing to change, here is the hardest and kindest truth. The person who changes first wins freedom first. If you are anxious and you stop chasing, either they step forward, and the relationship heals, or they keep running, and you finally see they never will. If you are avoidant and you stop disappearing, either they calm down, and the relationship heals, or they keep escalating, and you finally see the demands were never about you. Either way you break the spell. The nuclear option that always works. Walk away completely, heal yourself, date only secure people from now on. It hurts like death for 3 to 6 months. Then you meet someone who texts when they say they will, stays when things get hard, and loves without games, and you realize the trap was never love. It was trauma wearing a mask. You get to choose. Stay and do the work together, possible but rare. Or leave and do the work alone, hard but guaranteed future peace. Most people need to leave at least once to believe they deserve better. Once they taste secure love they never go back to the trap. You are not doomed to repeat this forever. The cycle only continues if you keep feeding it the same fuel. Stop chasing. Stop vanishing. Start speaking. Start showing up. Do it for 90 days straight. If nothing changes, leave with your head high knowing you tried everything. If everything changes, you just turned poison into medicine. Either way you win. The trap has no power when only one person is still dancing. Chapter 9, when crazy in love is actually crazy, anxious relationships. 2 anxious people fall in love. From the outside it looks like the most passionate romance on earth. Texts every 10 minutes. 6-hour phone calls. Constant, I miss you, even when apart for 2 hours. Public declarations on day 3. Everyone says, you two are so in love. From the inside it feels like standing on the edge of a cliff every single day. Because both partners have the same core wound. If I'm not 100% connected right now, I will be abandoned. So both scan for danger constantly. Both need endless reassurance. Both escalate when they sense the tiniest distance. Neither can ever truly calm the other down because they are both running on empty. Welcome to the anxious roller coaster. It is rare, only about 5 to 7% of couples, but when it happens it is explosive, addictive, and almost always destructive. Here are the 5 phases every anxious couple goes through. Phase 1, the honeymoon vortex. They meet and it feels like they have known each other forever. Both are flooded with dopamine from constant contact. Both finally feel, this person gets how much I can love. They text non-stop, overshare childhood trauma on date 2, say, I love you, within weeks. Friends roll their eyes at how intense it is. Phase 2, the first crack. One person gets busy for half a day. The other feels the silence like a heart attack. Suddenly both are panicking. Both start flooding each other with messages. Are you okay? Why aren't you replying? I'm scared you're pulling away. Both feel abandoned at the exact same time. Phase 3, the reassurance spiral. They get on the phone for 4 hours trying to calm each other down. I love you more than anything. I'm not going anywhere. I just got scared. For a few days the intensity feels like proof of love. But the relief never lasts because neither actually feels secure inside. Phase 4, the jealousy and control phase. Both start monitoring each other's every move. Who is that person who liked your photo? Why did you take 40 minutes to reply? Both accuse the other of not caring enough. Both threaten to leave just to see if the other will fight to keep them. Both stay because the thought of losing the other feels like death. Phase 5, the implosion. One day the emotional tank is finally empty. One small trigger, a cancelled plan, a sharp tone, becomes the last straw. Massive fight. Breakup threats. Sometimes actual breakup. Dramatic makeup sex or desperate reunion. Then the exact same cycle starts again within days. This is not passion. This is two nervous systems in perpetual emergency mode using each other as human pacifiers. Real example. Priya and Karen meet online. First date lasts 9 hours. By week 2 they are unofficial boyfriend-girlfriend. By month 1 they are saying, "You're my soulmate." By month 3 they have had 7 breakups and makeups. Every weekend is either euphoric or apocalyptic. Both have lost weight from stress. Both swear this is the deepest love they have ever felt. Both are secretly exhausted. Why anxious feels so good and hurts so bad? Mirror effect. Each partner perfectly reflects the other's biggest fear, so both feel constantly validated. See, love really is this fragile. Intensity equals safety myth. The emotional highs feel like proof the relationship is real, when actually they are proof both people are dysregulated. No brakes. With no secure or avoidant energy to slow things down, the relationship runs at 200 km per hour with no seatbelts. How to spot you are in an anxious pair, checklist. You say, "I love you," within the first month. You have had at least one breakup threat before 6 months. You feel anxious when apart for more than a few hours. You both apologize excessively after fights. Your fights are emotional floods, not calm discussions. You feel like only this person truly understands your pain. Friends have started pulling away because the drama is too much. The only way anxious works long-term. One person has to become the secure anchor. That means one of you must do the hard work of calming your own nervous system instead of using the relationship to do it. Daily practices, journaling, therapy, grounding exercises, learning to self-soothe instead of partner-soothe. If neither is willing to become that anchor, the relationship will eventually burn out or turn toxic. Most anxious couples do not make it past 2 years. The ones who do have usually turned into a secure anxious pair through massive personal growth. If you are single and anxious, do not date another highly anxious person. The fireworks are not worth the hospital bill. Look instead for secure partners who can hold space without adding fuel to your fire. If you are already in an anxious relationship and want to save it, agree you are both anxious and stop blaming. 2. Create a "no breakup threats" rule forever. 3. Schedule daily 10-minute check-ins instead of crisis calls. For each build an individual calming toolkit, therapy, meditation, sport. 5. Celebrate every week you stay regulated instead of dramatic. Do these 5 things for 6 months and you will either become a secure couple or realize you are better as friends. Love should not feel like constant emergency. It should feel like constant safety with bursts of joy. Anxious love is a trauma bond wearing the mask of soulmate connection. Real soulmates do not threaten to leave every time they feel scared. They stay and breathe together until the fear passes. You deserve that kind of love. Even if it feels less intense at first, it will feel infinitely better forever. Chapter 10, When Good Enough is Never Enough, Avoidant Relationships. 2. Avoidants fall in love. From the outside it looks perfect. Calm. Independent. No drama. No clingy texts. Separate bedrooms sometimes. Separate vacations sometimes. Friends say, "You two are so chill together." From the inside it feels like living in a beautiful museum after closing time. Everything is clean, quiet, and perfectly arranged. But nobody ever touches anything. Welcome to the avoidant relationship. It is the rarest pair, maybe 3 to 5% of couples, but when it happens it can last decades because neither person ever rocks the boat. Here are the 5 silent phases every avoidant couple lives through. Phase 1, the comfortable distance. They meet and feel instant relief. Finally, someone who does not demand constant contact. Finally, someone who respects space. They date for months while still feeling single. Both think this is mature love. Phase 2, the parallel lives. They move in together but keep separate schedules. Separate friend groups. Separate hobbies. Sex once a week if lucky. Conversations stay light, work, news, logistics. Feelings are never discussed unless absolutely necessary. Both feel safe because nothing is asked of them. Phase 3, the growing emptiness. Years pass. One day one of them wakes up and realizes they feel lonely in their own home. They look at their partner reading on the couch 6 feet away and feel a pang they quickly push down. They tell themselves, "This is what I always wanted, peace." Phase 4, the crisis that never comes. A normal couple would fight or break up by now. They don't. Instead they add another layer of distance, longer work hours, new solo trips, separate finances, for practicality. Emotional intimacy drops to near zero. Both pretend they are fine. Phase 5, the quiet end. One day one of them meets someone slightly warmer, often anxious, and suddenly feels alive for the first time in years. They leave with almost no drama. Or they stay together forever in a comfortable, passionless arrangement that looks like marriage but feels like roommate contract. Real example. Rohan and Neha, both strongly avoidant. Together 12 years. Never had a single shouting fight. Sleep in separate rooms, because of snoring. Have sex maybe 6 times a year. Take separate holidays every summer. Both describe the relationship as easy and respectful. Both secretly feel something is missing but would rather die than say it out loud. Why avoidant feels safe and eventually hollow. No threat of engulfment. Neither ever demands closeness, so both nervous systems stay calm. Independence is worshipped. Both prize freedom above everything, so the lack of connection is framed as strength. Emotions are allergic. Deep talks are avoided like the plague. Problems are handled by giving more space instead of solving together. Red flag checklist: you are in an avoidant pair. You can go days without meaningful conversation and it feels normal. You have never seen your partner cry. You have never cried in front of them. "I love you" is said rarely and feels awkward. You know their schedule better than their inner world. Friends joke that you act like business partners. Sex has become transactional or stopped completely. You feel relief when plans with them get cancelled. The brutal truth: avoidant almost never becomes secure on its own. There is no pressure to grow because neither person ever triggers the other's attachment system enough to force change. The only way it evolves is if one partner has a life crisis, health scare, death of parent, burnout and suddenly needs support the other cannot give. One partner starts therapy and slowly becomes more secure, forcing the dynamic to shift. 10-10. An outsider, usually anxious, enters the picture and shows one of them what warmth actually feels like. Most avoidant couples either stay together forever in polite detachment, or end quietly when one person finally admits, "I want more," and the other cannot imagine giving it. If you are single and avoidant, do not date another strong avoidant unless you are genuinely happy with surface-level connection forever. Look instead for secure partners who can offer warmth without pressure. If you are already in an avoidant relationship and want more depth, only one path works. One of you has to become the secure bridge. That means learning to reach, asking for closeness, learning to stay, when emotions rise, learning to feel, without shutting down. Practical steps to start today. Schedule one feelings check-in per week, 15 minutes max, no phones. Practice saying one vulnerable thing per day: "I missed you today," or "I felt sad when." Initiate physical affection once per day even if it feels weird. Read this book out loud together chapter by chapter. Get individual therapy. avoidant wounds heal faster with professional help. Do these 5 things for 6 months and one of 3 things will happen. Both of you slowly warm up and discover real intimacy for the first time. One of you warms up and the other cannot, ending the relationship peacefully. Nothing changes and you finally admit you are roommates, not lovers. Any of those outcomes is better than spending decades in emotional hibernation. Love is not just the absence of conflict. Love is the presence of connection. Avoidant love is conflict-free but often connection-free. You deserve more than a perfectly arranged museum. You deserve a home where someone runs to the door when you come back. Even if that someone has to learn how to run first. Chapter 11, Finding a Secure Partner. You have waited long enough for the wrong people. This chapter ends that wait forever. From today forward you will date like a secure person, even if you are still healing anxious or avoidant wounds. You will spot secure energy on the first date instead of after 2 wasted years. You will walk away fast from traps and lean hard into safety. Here are the exact tools that will get you there. The 90-day secure filter. Do not decide if you like someone until day 90. The first 3 months are pure chemistry and masks. Secure shows up in consistency, not fireworks. If they cannot pass these 5 tests in 90 days, they are not secure enough for you. Test 1, Consistency. They text when they say they will. They call when they say they will. Plans are made and kept. No maybe, no flaking, no hot and cold. Test 2, Direct communication. They can say, I'm upset you, let's fix it, or, I need alone time tonight, talk tomorrow. No mind reading required. No hints. No silent treatment. Test 3, Repairability. When conflict happens, and it will, they stay in the conversation instead of shutting down or exploding. They apologize when wrong. They listen without getting defensive. Test 4, Future orientation. By week 8 to 10 they naturally talk about future plans that include you, holidays, concerts, meeting friends. If they still act like the relationship has an expiration date, walk. Test 5, Emotional availability. They can talk about feelings without freezing or mocking. They ask about your day and actually care about the answer. They show affection freely and receive it without flinching. Anyone who fails 2 or more of these tests is not secure enough yet. Wish them well and keep moving. The secure dating mindset, repeat daily. I do not need to earn love by being perfect. I do not need to chase or disappear to feel safe. I deserve someone who chooses me every day without making me beg. The right person will feel like peace, not a puzzle. Red flag/green flag cheat sheet you can keep in your phone. Red flags, leave immediately. Cancels plans twice in a row without rescheduling. Goes more than 24 to 48 hours without contact in the early stage with no explanation. Says, I'm not good at relationships or, I don't do labels. Makes you feel guilty for having needs. Keeps exes as backup or disappears into work mode for days. Green flags, lean in. Initiates plans and follows through. Texts good night or thinking of you without being asked. Introduces you to friends/family early. Can say, I was wrong or I'm sorry. Asks, how are you really, and listens to the real answer. Stays calm and kind when you show emotion. The secure first date script, use it word for word if you want. I really enjoying getting to know you. Just so we're on the same page, I'm looking for something serious with the right person. How do you feel about relationships right now? Their answer will tell you everything in 30 seconds. Secure answer, I'm open and excited when I meet someone I click with. Anxious answer, I fall hard and fast, hope that's okay. Avoidant answer, I'm focused on my career/travel, not rushing anything. Only keep dating the secure answer. Where to actually find secure partners, they are everywhere once you look. Friend of a friend introductions, highest success rate. Hobby classes, sports teams, volunteer work, people show up consistently. Apps with voice notes and longer prompts, filters out heavy avoidance. People who post pictures with family and long-term friends, not just solo travel. Anyone who has done therapy or reads personal growth books, bonus points. How to become secure magnet while you are still healing. Work on your own wounds daily, journaling, therapy, meditation. Practice stating needs calmly in low-stakes situations first. Surround yourself with secure friends who model healthy love. Celebrate every time you choose peace over drama. Forgive yourself for past choices, they were survival, not failure. Real story, 6 months using this system. Priya, 31, anxious leaning. Used to fall for unavailable men instantly. Swore off dating for a year, worked on herself. Came back with the 90-day filter. Went on 12 first dates. Dropped 9 by week 4 for flakiness. Kept 3. 1 failed the repair test. 1 failed the future talk test. 1, Vikram, passed every single test. They just got engaged. She says, it felt boring at week 6 and perfect by week 12. Secure love often feels boring in the beginning because there is no trauma-drama dopamine. Then it feels perfect forever because there is no trauma-drama destruction. You do not have to become completely secure before dating. You just have to date like someone who already is. Stop auditioning for people who are not even sure they want the part. Start auditioning people for the role of person who makes my nervous system calm down. You have suffered enough in the name of passion. Now choose ease. Choose consistency. Choose someone who texts back, shows up, stays, and still thinks you are magic. They exist in large numbers. You just trained yourself to ignore them. Stop ignoring them today. Secure love is not rare. It is quiet, so you missed it while chasing noise. Turn down the noise and you will hear it calling your name. Answer the call. You are ready.